We are going to start with math today. We're starting in our math books. This is going to be lesson 1-1, unit 1, lesson 1 in math. With this lesson, there's nothing in your student activity book. It's just learning with your math board. And then you will have some homework and remembering pages to do afterwards. But first, we're going to learn about this math board. So what is this math board showing us? Anybody want to unmute and tell us, what is this math board showing us?
Fractions.
Fractions. I love it. Yes, all different sizes of fractions, right? All different sizes of fractions. When you look at the top of it, it starts with one whole. You see that? That's one whole. There's no lines dividing it up. But look, all of the fractions going down are the same size as that one whole, aren't they? They're all the same size. But if you notice, as you go down, this one is marked halves, thirds, fourths, fifths. Why do you think they have those labels on them? Somebody can just unmute and share. Go ahead, just share out loud, guys. Why do you think they have those labels?
Because they're divided in different parts.
So they can tell us what fraction they're showing.
Yeah, it's the name of the fraction that they're showing. It's telling us how many parts each one of those wholes is divided into. So we have one whole. Here we have halves, and a half is 2 pieces. So our one whole is divided into 2 pieces. The next one is thirds. We have the same whole, but that whole is divided into 3 pieces, which makes thirds, and fourths, and fifths, and sixths, and so on. What do you notice about the size of each piece as we have more of those pieces?
They're getting smaller.
They get smaller. You're right. The more of the pieces that we have, the smaller the pieces are going to be. So when we get all the way down here to our 12ths, we have teeny tiny pieces, right? Our one whole is the exact same size, same whole, but now it's divided into 12 pieces. So lots of pieces, but those pieces are a lot smaller, okay? What fraction would this right here be? If I were to write a fraction for that piece, how would I write that fraction? Go ahead and write it on your board and hold it on up. What fraction would that piece be? Just that piece right there.
1.
I see some of you holding your boards up to the camera for me to see. Hold them up. If I'm just looking at just that one piece right there, what fraction would I write to represent that piece? All right, if you wrote 1/2, you are correct, because there are 2 of these pieces in the whole, right? There's 2 pieces. That's our denominator, our bottom number. But we're only looking at one of those 2 pieces. So that makes our numerator. Go down the line and label just the first section on each one. So we did 1/2. This one would be 1/3. Label them all the way down your math board. What would just one piece be on each of those? What do we call that? Go ahead and label them down and then show them to me.
Okay.
I'm looking. I got to get up nice and close because you guys are teeny tiny. Looking good. Did you get them done, Lincoln?
What page is it on?
There's not a page. We're just on our math boards right now. All right, good. So we have 1/3. If we're at fourths, our denominator is going to be 4. and we're just looking at one of those pieces. If we have fifths, our denominator is going to be 5, and we have one of those. 6, what's our denominator, everybody?
6.
6.
Numerator's 1. How about sevenths? What's my denominator going to be?
7.
7. 8.
8.
9.
9.
Oh, I think I said 12ths earlier. It's tenths.
Yeah,
And
you,
tenths. So if you're labeling just one of the fractions for each one of those fraction bars, that's what your answer should look like. Here's a question for you. I'm going to test your guys' memory from 4th grade. What do we call these fractions? If you think you know it, shout it out.
Unit
Oh, I
fraction.
think unit fractions, yes. Unit fractions. If the numerator is a 1, the number on top, if it's a 1, it's called a unit fraction because it's only one, a unit of the fractions. So anytime the numerator is a 1, those are our unit fractions. That's really important that you guys remember that term. If you're asked, what is the unit fraction, that you know that the numerator is going to be a 1, okay? So the numerator is just one of those pieces. The denominator tells us how many total pieces there are in the whole. Are we good with that? Give me thumbs up if we're good with that. I see some thumbs up. Oh, that's a good one, Hayden. Thank you.
much.
I got to click through everybody. I've got like 6 screens of kiddos to click through because you guys are nice and little on there for me. All right. Unit fractions mean the top number is a 1, the numerator is a 1, and the denominator is the number of pieces in the whole. All right, go ahead and erase your boards.
Erase your sock. Go.
Now we're going to talk about building a whole. So if we want to build a whole using only unit fractions, I'm going to do some adding. But I can only add together the unit fractions. So if I'm going to build a whole, I'm going to say 1/2 plus 1/2. Are those both unit fractions? Yes, thanks for the thumbs up. Those are both unit fractions. What is 1/2 plus 1/2? Well, it's 2 over 2,
Yeah.
right? And what does 2 over 2 equal?
A whole.
1 whole. Anytime the numerator and the denominator are the same thing, that makes it 1 whole. How about thirds? If I wanted to build a whole using unit fractions for my thirds, I would do 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. What's that going to equal?
3/3.
3/3. What does 3/3 equal?
A whole.
1 whole. I want you guys to do it only for fourths though. Just do fourths. We're going to build a whole using unit fractions. I'm going to do it too, and then you can check yours with mine. How'd we do? Did you guys get the same answer I got? I see some thumbs up. I like it. What do you notice about the number of fractions we're adding? So like if I'm adding together 4 fractions on this one. I'm adding together 3 fractions on this one. I added together 2 fractions on this one. What do you notice about the number of fractions we added together? You guys can just shout it out if you think you know.
You add all the parts together. All the
denominator shows how many times you add it.
Unit fraction.
I love it. Yes, you're adding the parts together. I heard the denominator shows how many unit fractions you have to add together. That's right. If my denominator's a 2, that means I need 2 of my 1/2. If my denominator's a 3, I need 3 of my 1/3. If my denominator's a 4, I need 4 of my 1/4. Okay? So your denominator is showing the number of unit fractions that you're adding together. Okay? So that's how we build a whole number using unit fractions. Can we build other fractions using unit fractions? Yes, we can. Let's erase and take a look at that. Let's say, for example, that I wanted to make 3/5. I want to build 3/5, but I can only use unit fractions. How would that look? Well, 3/5, I can only use unit fractions. So if I was going to color in 3/5 on my fraction bar, I'm going to color in 3 of these sections, section 1, 2, and 3. So then I'm going to write the unit fraction on top of each one of those. 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. What do I get when I add 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5?
3/5.
3/5, right? So I just made 3/5 adding together only unit fractions. Could I do, let's say 5/6? Can you show me how you would do 5/6 using only unit fractions? Do that on your board. How are you going to show 5/6 using only unit fractions? I'm going to do it on my board too. So once you're done, check your work with mine. Give me a thumbs up if we're good. Thanks, Ben. Thumbs up, I like it, thank you. Yes, so we added together our unit fractions, right? Unit fractions are those fractions that have 1 as a numerator. I knew that because I was doing 6 that my denominator had to be 6, and I needed 5 of those unit fractions to add together. Awesome job. Erase your boards. I'm going to give you guys a word problem that you have to solve now. I'm going to give you a word problem. Ready? Mr. Ellis is building a sidewalk. Yesterday, he built 2/7 of the sidewalk. Go ahead and mark your 2/7. Today, he built 3/7 of the sidewalk. What fraction of the sidewalk has he built? Yesterday, he built 2/7. Today, he built 3/7. So yesterday, move this up a little bit. Oh, I heard the answer. Yesterday was 2/7, right? 1/7 plus 1/7, that gives us 2/7.
I just didn't know.
Today he did 3/7. 1/7 plus 1/7 plus 1/7, or 2/7 plus 3. Whoops, not 3/5. 3/7. How many total 7ths do I have? I heard somebody whisper it before.
Oh, 5/7.
5/7.
5/7. He's built 5/7 of the sidewalk. Awesome. We're going to do one more problem. I think you guys are getting this. Here we go. We had 5/8 of a pizza. Start there. We had 5/8 of a pizza. Then we ate 3/8 of it. How much pizza is left? We had 5/8. We ate 3/8. Don't whisper it. I don't want to hear your answers. Not yet. How much pizza is left? First, you can tell me this, everybody. What operation are we using on this one?
Subtraction.
Subtraction. Yes.
Can you
This is subtraction. So we start with 5/8. Right? 1/8.
Yep.
1/8. 1/8. 1/8. And 1/8. We start with that 5/8. But then somebody, probably either Brady or Shanley, ate 3/8. So they ate 1, 2, 3 of those 8s. What's left?
2 8.
Everybody shout it out.
2
2
8.
8s. Mary and I have to share the last 2 8s of pizza.
2 8.
You guys got it.
Yep.
Awesome
2
job.
8. 2 8.
Okay, go ahead and mute yourselves.
Okay.
I'm going to show you what your work is going to look like in your homework book today. Okay? So they've given you a fraction bar. And the first part they want you to do is label the first part of this fraction bar with the correct unit fraction. So you're only going to label this first bar with the correct unit fraction. Circle the first 4 parts of the bar. What fraction of the whole does the circled portion represent? So once you've circled 4 of those, what fraction is that? Write your fraction from number 2 as a sum of unit fractions. So that's when you have 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, whatever it is. I'm not saying that it's 6. I don't think it is 6. But you're writing it as a sum of unit fractions. Then you're going to tell me this whole thing as a sum of unit fractions. Okay? And then we have a word problem and another little problem down at the bottom to solve. That's the front side. On the back side, you guys are doing the front and back, pages 1 and 2. The first 2 sections are on factors and multiples. Now, it's been a little while since you guys have done factors and multiples, but in Otis, in your lessons, and this goes for our friends from Mr. Baker's class too, I put a short video in there that will review for you what a factor is and what a multiple is. So if you forgot, you can find it there. And that's also where you're gonna find this recording, okay? There's some problems to solve here by adding, some problems at the bottom where you need to write an equation and answer it. Remember, when we're writing equations, we should have variables with our equations, right? Maggie has a ribbon 27 feet long. What is the length of the ribbon in yards? Oh, we got to remember how many yards are in feet. I know that there are 3 feet in a yard. So I'm going to do 27 divided by 3 equals R. There's my variable. R is my ribbon. And then my answer will tell me what that R is. Okay? I do know that oftentimes when you guys get to the stretch your thinking question, you don't even read it. You think, oh, it's stretch your thinking. It's going to be too hard. Why even try? Guess what? That's not okay. You guys need to still try and solve the stretch your thinking. Do some work. I need to see something that you've attempted on the stretch your thinking question. Okay? Don't just skip it because it says stretch your thinking. All right. I think that's all that I have to share with you guys for this right now. I was hoping to play a quick game, but I'm not sure that we have time for that right now because I wanted to do something fun with Mr. Baker's kiddos that are joining us. But we will try and plan on that tomorrow. We'll try and do a Kahoot with Mr. Baker's kiddos with us tomorrow, okay? So let me go ahead and stop my recording.